Gregory, are you ready?
To put my balls on the table? They're already there.
Our guest today is an American artist whose paintings have been featured in Los Angeles, New York, London, and beyond. His work has been included in MoMA PS1's Rockaway and the Whitney Museum of American Art. While achieving that success, he's continued to work with nonprofits like the Art of Elysium and Project Angel Food. We couldn't be more happy to welcome to the show one of my favorite bros in this and any world, Gregory Siff. Gregory, are you ready?
To put my balls on the table? They're already there.
That table was made for those balls.
So I was born in Maimonides Hospital, and I did a painting all about it, kind of like this like Chutes and Ladders story about where it all goes, you know, the roadmap of life. But
Yeah.
my dad was born in Lower East Side in an apartment in New York City on 13th in between A and B. And then my mom is a Brooklyn girl.
Is that Alphabet City? Is that like
Yes.
yeah.
Then I was born in Brooklyn, and then we moved to Rockaway Beach, Queens when I was probably like 2 weeks old. So
Okay.
live right, like grew up on the ocean, but not far enough, you know, just close enough to get to Manhattan. So I know the city very well and lived my whole life over there until I just felt like the calling, you know, when you're like, it's time to go see some stuff. So LA became that dream. And then went through the laundry machine tumble, and then it came out an artist.
Dude, you told me something years ago, which I thought was beautiful when you decided, because we're going to talk about your journey before you were like, I'm a painter and that's what I'm going to do. But you made the choice to paint every day, no matter what, where you are and what you're doing. Talk about that.
It's like the cup of coffee that you crave. It's just something that has to happen. And I noticed real momentum in real time, like a flip book coming to life. It's like if you do a little bit each day, you don't know where it's taking you, but it starts bringing you on a ride. But then you're building this spaceship and you decide, okay, where I want to go there. And it's very important to start to have these goals and to start to, you know, use what's making you feel good. That gasoline, you know, and as life started to happen to me, or things get pulled away from you, or things start to, you know, life just starts to kick in right after 13, 14, 15, you love, you know, loss, and these things start to happen. You start to formulate yourself. You start building this superhero suit that you have in your closet. You're like, okay, today we're going out there and creating everything every day. I make at least one thing a day, whether it's a drawing, whether it's a poem, whether it's a, you know, 8 foot by 10 foot, you know,
Museum piece.
There we go. That's what it was. It was like, you know, as an actor, you're like, you want to go for you want the trophy, right? You want the Oscar, you want the thing, but the museum seemed to be like that unattainable or maybe attainable thing that comes in the future. So every day if you want to be in a museum, go hang out in a museum. Right. So I just started drawing on little marshmallows and leaving them in museums. Like go in the corner of a museum and put a little, that was how it started, little things like that.
Whoa.
When you and I first met through your longtime friend and partner, business partner, Lisa.
Yes. My manager, my yes. Gallery,
amazing
everything.
Person, Lisa Falcone, and she introduced me to Gregory.
I met Evan and I was like, Lisa knew we were like, you guys are going to be best friends. She goes, I'm never going to see him again after I introduce you guys. And
sorry, Lisa.
We had a great time at the Chateau Marmont, and then
we lit a couch on fire on accident that we had to pay for.
Amazing.
But then I see this dude, and I'm like, I met him, and I was like, do I know this guy? Like, it just was one of those things, and he's got that stare, and then it just was like, this dude like believes in my work and believes in just, you know, life. Like we were having fun you were coming to hang out. It's
contagious. I believe in anybody who believes in themselves and who's putting good into the world.
I think I've seen your entire body of work at his house.
I mean, and that's the thing, like, you know, when your dad is proud of you, or you and someone is putting your stuff out there, and like that, like my mom, like I know if I need to like locate a picture of a thing that I did, like, and I'm standing with someone, like, where's the painting that you did
Mom?
of?
Right.
And she's like, boom, boom, text it to me. I'm like, boom, it's better than finding my photos.
Right.
But like that's Evan, and that's like, I guess you want to find people that are proud of you for the way
Yeah.
you
I've
are.
got
in
a good
life.
He's a champ. Like that's the thing.
I know a lot
you
of
are
your
a champion
songs,
for
and I know a
all
lot of
your
your paintings.
friends. You are just
know a lot of
such
your
a big supporter. He does it like it's one of the most incredible qualities and one of the things.
Well,
I
that's
love
how
about you
that's
so
how we
much.
all win, right?
Yeah.
You support each other, and when
That
something
is.
good happens, that's great. That's a
Yeah.
win. The people that see it as, oh, that person got that again, like let go of that. Stop comparing. Let go of that. When Gregory and I first met, 8 years ago, or maybe longer now, but he gave me 3 little painted marshmallows.
Yes.
I still have them.
Made out of clay and hand painted, and I signed the bottom of them and just put them in a corner. And it would just be so cool to see someone walk through the museum, notice it, walk up to it, and then just bend down and just go. And I'm like, oh wow, I got a piece in a museum. But
Right.
that was a funny thing, and it became. Then I was like, okay, now I'm in LA. Let's go to Mocha. Let's go to Hammer. It wasn't anything technical. I wasn't trying to say, oh wow, he's such a good painter. It was just like, that's actually there. That happened, you know? And making things made me feel good because I originally came out to LA. I was in the opera in New York in high school.
By the way, we got to go back because
We'll
we'll go back and forth, but this guy wanted to be an opera singer. He was a working actor.
Yes. Every medium from TV to video games to commercials to little thing. Like in New York, I was making things happen.
Mhm.
Right.
And then when I moved here, there was just like, it was I became, how do you say it? It's like everybody in the world here was doing that.
It
was cool,
Yeah.
but I wasn't making movement enough for me to sustain like a rent or a health insurance or these things. It happened for like the first 2 years. And then I just felt when you don't feel that you don't feel like a man, you don't feel like you can, pay for your own roof, pay for your own food, do those things. So you have to like grab the bull by the horns. And I always wear this ring, but this ring's very appropriate for this podcast. Balls on the table. Like this is my brother made this for my father, which became mine.
Wow.
And I never was a ring guy, but I wear it all the time when I'm painting. And it's just almost like my dad would always say, you got to grab the bull by the horns. And, if you F with the bull, you get so almost like to step into your, power, come into your manhood, your calling. And then that's just something that I love when Evan hit me up and was like, told me about this and just, what you guys are doing here is kind of.
It's interesting because so it wasn't just like you're a little kid drawing every day. You knew you knew that being an artist, a visual artist was going to be your thing.
No, that happened in LA.
In LA.
Because.
But you had been like.
Oh yeah, I'd always been like as a kid, painting my own Spider-Man figures that didn't exist yet, drawing on things. My mom took me to museums, being a kid in New York, doing the opera, but coming out here and then feeling that feeling of not getting it and not getting the part. And then I had a manager call me up and goes like, yeah, we're not going to give you some calls only for commercials right now. There's nothing for you. And I just felt like I had to like take control of it and say, hey, you know what? Don't call me. I was going on a road trip up the Pacific Coast Highway all the way to Vancouver just to drive up there. And I said, just don't call me. I'm doing this art thing now and I don't want to be distracted. And just like you said, when you've got like 10 fires going, just put them all in one spot. And and that's what it was. It was responding back to me and it was making me feel good because at that point I had lost my father in 2007. This was 2010. And that was something that like, I could compare it to like cracking out of a new egg and being born again. Cause you're like, who really am I without him? And it was like, who am I now? Now I had to reverse all of my roles in like, there's my mom, there's my family, and everyone was over there on the East Coast. So I felt like I was trading time to be here. So I said, you better make everything, you better stay up till 3, 4, 5, till you understand, till you get it, like till you make some breakthroughs. And those things just happen. It wasn't like you better. It was like, I have to.
Yeah, I think this is interesting. I want to kind of like go into decisiveness because we haven't really discussed this much and the difference between men being more or less, I think, there's a stigma or I don't know if even stigma's right about men being very decisive about what they want to eat. I look at the menu and I go, that. And I don't, it's like, there may be something better, but I'm like, I'll just go with that because I don't want to fucking, but why do we, is it so much easier, or I don't know if it's easier.
I don't know if it's easier. I've suffered from being indecisive.
Maybe it's a survival mechanism. Like, I don't have time to think about that. That's not so important.
Yes.
Doing my art's important, right? What I eat right now is less important than making a big decision with my career or something like that.
It's like that. It's like the Steve Jobs, the same outfit every day thing. Like that.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I'm wearing that because I want to go and
he can't be bothered with taking time away from building that company.
Yeah.
To decide what happens before that.
Yeah.
But I think, to bring up what you just said, I think the gut instinct thing, like you just go with your gut. Like you were just saying, I get that, boom. My dad had a quote, "He who hesitates is lost." And we were doing that when we were driving. And my dad was hard as nails.
So let's talk about that.
Dude.
Yeah.
Your relationship with him and how, because you've dropped a couple little wisdom nuggets
when you
that
talk
you got
about
from your dad.
balls and just doing it and just coming up. Thank you for that. His name's, the coolest part about it is I just did an exhibit that's going to be in Vegas at Complex Con, and I did a whole series of paintings called Gasoline and New Ice Cream. Kind of like
awesome.
And the thing about the gasoline is my dad's name is George Abraham Siff, which is the acronym
is gas.
Gas. Yeah.
So I've had some intense dreams, just like, that now you're cooking with gas and like these things happening. So gasoline, now you got me spinning, feeling so good because we're talking about them. But I want to know, you guys ever have someone that's in your life that makes you feel like you could literally walk through a wall if you had to? Like you could fly. Like someone that would speak to you in a way that would make you feel like the impossibilities of the world do not exist. And that's my father to me.
I mean, so let's
incredible.
talk about that more. Go.
It was just, I had a very I was born a dreamer, and I was born like my dad had a catering hall called La Mer Caterers with my uncles, and the New York Mets had their '86 championship World Series, and we had box seats to the game and I mean, I was scooping Italian ices and at the parties with Darryl Strawberry and
No
Ron
way.
Darling and all these things. And like these heroes, I wanted to be Gary Carter and Lenny Dykstra. Like these guys were in front of my face, and I was like, I could become a Met. Like I went to live and
So glad you're a Mets fan.
Yeah.
Because I'm from Boston.
Oh yeah. Hey, 86.
And Bill Buckner
Yes.
lived in my town.
Wow.
And his kids went to my school.
That's great.
And it was 86, yeah?
Yes.
And for those people that don't know, Bill Buckner pretty much lost the World Series against the Mets.
The myth through the legs.
Because the ball went through his legs like a fucking
T-ball ground ball.
like
Poor guy.
Yeah.
It's a part of life. Sometimes that's going to happen.
But he had to move.
But he got
Because he had to move out. He moved to LA. He moved to California. He had to move
Yeah,
out.
because he was
yeah.
the kid.
Because people their parents would go in there and like give them the fucking Bernie Sanders side eye.
That's the Bernie Sanders side. That's part of Boston. I want to go back to your dad and the Mets, but
Yeah.
I played Bucky Dent, and we've talked about
this guy signed my DVD because I have I wanted that. And you also, when I did my Topps baseball card as Derek Jeter, we wanted to take his rookie card and flip it because it's so iconic of Jeter throwing the ball.
So he used
So I
an image
took
of me.
Evan, and he was the supermodel that turned around, and we made that, and that was my top selling card.
Well, where's my royalties?
I don't know. I don't know.
But
You're looking at him.
I am looking at him.
Bro, whatever you need.
Oh, you're the
my
best.
man.
I love it when you guys know I love sports. I know you love sports. When you can make an analogy about life and the discipline it takes, but also like the expectation and like that's gonna happen. You expect it, and then it doesn't. Like a miffed ground ball.
I was so lucky. I was at 21. Wow, 21 years ago, I was living in Boston. I grew up just outside of Boston, and then I went to Berklee College of Music in the city. And when I was at school, that's the year they won the World Series for the first time in like 86, 83 years.
It was a
80
long,
80
long
Wow.
curse.
And I was in there, and it was like the riots and the destruction and the but it was crazier when we beat the Yankees, because of that comeback was the greatest comeback in
They were
potentially, I think,
they were
yes.
down 3-0 in the ALCS, and nobody had ever
then we went.
and then you
The
guys
Cardinals
decimated the
Didn't
Cardinals.
win a single game of the
Yeah,
World
it was
Series.
like nobody could beat them at that point. They won 7 games in a row, and it was the greatest comeback.
Yeah.
So speaking of
Yeah.
greatest comebacks, so you're serving Lenny Dykstra
Oh yeah.
and the Mets ice
Oh,
cream,
yeah,
and
yeah,
you're
yeah.
like, I
But
want to be.
I wanted to say, like, those losses and those things happen. That's gonna
Yeah.
happen. That's gonna
Well,
make.
you said this is on one of your paintings that became one of your mottos. Some of your mottos have become very recognizable paintings, and we could talk about some of those, like Gregory. But there was one that was, "You will lose and lose, but one day you will win."
Yep.
Is that
Yep,
right?
That's right.
And
One
it's
don't
so
stop. One day you will
love
win.
that.
Don't stop. One day you will win, and it's so simple, but it's so true.
It was just something that I was putting on stickers and putting them up because I was finding my footing as an artist. And at that era, when I moved here, 2009, 2010, it was like the LA street art had just exploded with Banksy and Mr. Brainwash. And there were so many of us. I found a collective of other artists that were just, everyone was out on the street at night and just doing that. And it felt really good. It was like these, I wouldn't call them misfits, but we were just like,
They're Lost Boys.
yeah, well, we didn't want to really like line up to go. I did the thing trying to be an actor, even though I'll always be an actor. But I was and trying to get like the 9 to 5, go stand up at Abercrombie or work in the Four Seasons or a hotel and see how much you're gonna get and go through that thing. But then this had some kind of, romance to it. You're out at night. Let's go to the diner. You met some guys. You didn't know what someone would look at. Oh, that's you. Crazy names. Everyone felt like we were, and
Nice.
it gave me some sort of placement in my eyes when it started to respond back to me.
So you're out. So
yeah,
what would it
so
be like? You guys
so-
are out tagging.
So we
you're
were out
painting.
putting stickers. Everyone had their own thing, whatever it would be. This is what I did. I tried to, when someone's not there, their voice on the page, when you have a note from them, or if you have their words in your head, or you wrote them down. I took like a little notebook. I wrote down every single thing that my dad could say, that I could hear my memory recording device in my heart and head to put that down. And I wrote it in a book. It made me feel a
wow.
little closer to him and then I took those quotes and I started to like integrate them into my artwork. So then when I'm painting, I'm a little bit closer to them. So this became kind of like a telephone box, a music, like an antenna going up somewhere.
Yeah.
So street art, then it started. It was giving back to me because I bumped into a bunch of people that inspired me, and then there were things like I would watch movies and read books about all of these guys, and they would fall in love hard and deep, and whether it was Jean-Michel Basquiat or the Letters of Van Gogh, just all of these lives, and I said maybe I'm one of these dudes. So I fell in love with the life of an artist, and then once you start doing it and getting those hours in there, you realize that it's not a job, It's
a calling.
dude.
Talk about
something to live for.
You touched on something that I think is fascinating and super important for men. Were you talking about anything besides art? Like, would you get deep? Was there a club of sorts? Like, did you guys have?
It was crazy because Instagram was just popping off, and there we had a. But then you go to different art shows. It started becoming accepted, so you'd know that there'd be like 3 shows on a weekend, and you go to everyone's thing, and then some of my buddies that I would see out at the art shows, we started to make little crews and stuff like that. The Creative Cartel crew. It's my buddy Mar and 20, and we we would put up shows together, collaborate each other, do charity shows, do tons of different things. We were all kind of feeling this beginning thing of what it's like to collaborate, like invite someone into your painting. Does that feel good? Oh yeah, and then we started to be accepted by the commercial machine of a gallery where you can make money on that. And you're like, oh, that was a good piece. What was going on over there with that? So I think that the community made us all feel like we were doing something special.
Speaking of, that's like 2009, 2010. When did your art career start to take off? Because people think as artists, oh, it's just parabolic. It was this and then boom. But no, you were doing your thing. You were doing group shows and
Yes.
small shows and selling paintings for peanuts and a nickel. And then all of a sudden, what happened?
You start to find your voice, which is a beautiful thing, because you're making all these different styles, and everything's going to come from the voice. But I started to find, I was like, okay, it's what do I like to paint? Like, symbols, faces, poetry, words, putting all these things together. And then once I started to, I did a show. The show is called There and Back, and my dad used to say that, like, I've been there and back. Like, and I said, okay, the title of the show is gonna be There and Back, because it's the there is LA and the back is New York. Cause
Right.
I had this like ongoing thing, like check up on everything going on at home, come to LA and live the dream. Like trading time back and forth, there and back. It was cool. And that show is where things took off for me, because that's when I started getting the attention. And after that show, Lisa came to me and
Lisa,
was
your
just
manager,
like,
yeah.
she said she had a gallery, but she said, I want to manage you. And I was like, what's a manager, especially in art? You just have
Right.
galleries.
Right.
And she says, well, I see a star in you and I want to help you. And I was like, okay, well, I want more time to paint. And I said, here's a bunch of, emails. Here's a bunch of, ideas that I got going on, and wishes and things that I'd love to see. And within that, after we started working together, she came back with a painting sold, a deal and collaboration with Soul Cycle. There was brand development. There was things going on. I was like, I got more time to paint. I got money to go make ideas happen. So that was kind of where things started to take off for me.
And at that point, had you started, was it around that time when you were like, I'm going to paint every day, no matter what? I'm going to make something every day?
That started coming to me when it was just studio apartment, the Treehouse, which you've been to, and one of my great friends, partners, mentors, this artist Louis Cannizzaro, like the artist, Louis XXX. He was doing it. He was out here first, and I had gone to one of his book readings. And I became friends with, there was like Basquiat, Warhol, and Lewis. And I was like, I get to talk. I get to go have coffee with Lewis. And I get to like, so I have this apartment called the Treehouse. And I don't know, man. It was those late nights when you're like bent on your, and now I didn't know, but like I paint like I'm a kid. Like I'm sitting in, like you're bent on the knees on the floor playing with your action figures. Like,
Right.
like this.
Really?
Yeah, like
you do a number on your knees.
Yeah,
Like,
Well, now the time that has passed, it's just like that's like the go-to position where everything. It's like where you're planting a seed, like you're in the tree.
because you're so close to it.
Yeah,
Right. You get your whole body closer to
exactly
the canvas.
You could see the fibers of the pencil cracking on the paper.
I've had the good fortune, and it's a wonderful thing. I've had the good fortune with both of you to watch an artist immerse and get into a flow state. And I've seen you do it at your piano, and I've seen you do it on a canvas. And just kind of, it's voyeuristic. It's very inspiring. And I would actually tell a lot of people out there.
It's unfortunate for us because we don't have the
Yeah,
opportunity.
I'm just videoing and selling. I'm uploading and selling.
No, but with your writing, actually.
Well, that's not as interesting.
And I was thinking about, like, I sort of had the clubs going to school for music, and we had this, it was like a gang, it was like a group of us. And we all knew who the good ones were, because at Berkeley, the ones who weren't good were dropping off. They didn't stick around. There was a 70% dropout rate. So as you kept going, right? And you're talking about you having this crew. Did you have that with writing? Like,
yeah, well, I've had one of my dear friends, Kyle, who's been my TV writing partner for many years.
Right.
We were both bartenders in New York. We're the same age, and we ran in different circles. But about the time you were coming to you guys both got to LA a little before me. But so just before that, I was on your heels, where I said, I'm going to go try this thing out here, because a big director said, you got to go. And I was working at Marc Jacobs at the time, and it was like, maybe go try and do this thing if you're serious. So he and I teamed up, and we wrote a couple things together. And after a few of them, we sold one. But that was the joke of, like watching you paint or watching you create a song is awesome. I'm like, well, somebody's asked me once, well, what do you guys do when you write? I'm like, oh, it's like the best show in town. You're talking to yourself, and you're pacing.
Yeah.
And when you have somebody that you can do it with, which I did for many years and still do in TV, it's kind of cool because somebody can dictate, somebody can pace. The other
But
person
you
can
and you and
switch.
Kyle, I know you've told me you've gotten into some disagreements.
Oh
like-
yeah, so
And then I said
that's
that's
love.
that's
Yeah.
an interesting
That's
thing
just all
talking
love
about
and
sort of
relationship.
That's where it happens.
collaboration.
When someone's here doing what they're supposed to be doing and you catch a glimpse of that and you're like, that is the most magnetic, sexiest thing.
You're both like, you know, bromance. You're both, and it's okay for all you guys that are bro out and bromance.
Yeah.
You guys are both exceptional at what you do. So it's easy to sit there and be like, oh, cool, Tony's playing the piano. Gregory's like dropping in because I've seen you on airplanes.
Yeah.
Flow state. You're just, you know,
But
and all of a
I've
sudden,
read, and I've read your scripts, some of them, and they're
I
incredible,
apologize.
man. No, I've I was so impressed because
thanks.
it's like, you know, that's so like that's a different thing. Writing is more insular.
As I've matured, I've actually grown to love the paintings that I make, and I've noticed that all like the fandom has like went to one little area, and then all the paintings that are around my home, I was like, that's a good one. And I'm actually learning to love, and you're so hard on yourself when you're younger, and you're so like, I'm not that guy yet. I'm not Damien Hirst. I'm not this dude. But then you start to, as you start painting, and you start giving that respect to the work that you make, you start to treat it that way, and you put on the wall that like that's a damn good painting.
Yeah.
And thank you for this breakfast together. And it's like
Yeah.
you start realizing when you're
Self-worth, self-love,
you
like
know,
all
so
those, yeah.
you're listening to your maybe you want to listen to one of your tracks on the ride
no
home.
way.
You don't do that.
Fuck
You're like
no,
Al
I hate,
Pacino.
like,
He doesn't watch
I don't
his
like
movies.
It's so fucking crazy. I don't like the sound of my voice. I'm gonna like watching any of me talking is like it's like nails on a chalkboard. But
It is
and I
tough
don't
sometimes.
really.
I
The only
agree.
songs I like to listen to are the ones I'm doing right now, like the song I'm writing right now, and then I'll listen to that over and over, critique, criticize, edit, do that kind of stuff. But I when I listen to the old, you know, my first record that I ever made, 16, 17 years ago, I'm just like, oh man. Because I'm critiquing. Do you ever critique your work that you did like a long time ago? I would have done that different. I would have done that different.
well, I think
a little bit,
yeah, I think that's a little. I think
And
that's healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I critique my parenting. That's how I.
Right.
That's how I
Yeah.
kind of move past what didn't work. I certainly critique my writing. I'm like, wow, that was shit. Who wrote that? I couldn't have written that. Oh my god, I thought that was good. Yeah, that's normal. I want to ask you, G.
I want to do. Yeah, I want to give you a Georgie story, but ask me this because you'll bring.
Give me the
back
Georgie
to that.
story
No,
first.
No, it's on your mind. Let's go.
No,
Let's-
what are you gonna ask me?
Boxers or briefs? Give me the George. Give us the Georgie story.
No, just like celebrate your wins. Because I wanted to bring it back just to give you. There's so many different stories, but a great one when all this started happening, the wins started occurring for selling shows, selling out shows and art and stuff. And I had a gallerist that was like, you should go and you should just, go to Paris or go do something. Like you sold these pieces and like do something for you. Don't bring a date. Just go. Like go for yourself. And I was like, yeah, I want to go on the Van Gogh tour. I want to go to Paris. I want to go do these things. Go to London. So I like bought a ticket because I could buy a ticket now and went there and was staying in London, took a train to Paris. There was a story about my dad going to Cuba to deliver art. And after the thing, he was there. He didn't know anybody. And he was in a nightclub. And he wanted to treat himself to celebrate a win, have a bottle of champagne and everything. He looked over across the other end of the room. And he saw this this young, stud buck partying with all the beautiful people. The table, my dad was like, he didn't know anyone. He's like, I'm sending him a bottle of champagne. So he sent them over a bottle of champagne. And he was like, hey, come over here. And he sat down. He's talking. He goes, we're partying. Hey, George, you want to go on my boat? We're all going to go on my boat later. And my mom tells me this story, my dad. And he says, yeah. So he goes on the boat and it's Errol Flynn. And that's, that's the saying, you're in like Flynn. That meant like he could get any girl. My dad got to party on a boat with Errol Flynn, sipping champagne, tons of beautiful women and everyone having like, whatever kind of fantasy you could think it was. And he was like, that was the guy. So when I went to Paris and I was sitting up in this hotel, it was one of the last nights, because it was 2007 or whatever it was. It was one of the last nights you could smoke cigarettes indoors. I ordered steak tartare. I thought a real steak came. It was like red. Like I was like, I didn't care. And I saw these kids down there, beautiful girls and guys, like a big table. And I was like, send them a bottle of champagne. I swear it was out of a movie.
Yes.
And they did it. And then they called me down there and they were Swedish and we couldn't speak English together, but like, we're going to a club after. And I only had like 48 hours in there. But I said, okay, Like, this was a celebration of a win. I miss my dad. What would happen if I step into that movie? I start to think about that, like, and I did, and it was like, that was better than that was the reward.
This episode was shot on Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Pro cameras. So if it looks better than it probably should, now you know why. If you're a filmmaker, content creator, or podcaster who cares about cinematic quality, Blackmagic is the real deal.
I love that story.
Awesome.
I love so many stories about your dad that you tell me. I heard this recently and I was like, I didn't know this. Did you showcase your studio and you painted like 50 or 100 portraits of homeless youths after you spent a day at a place, the safe place for youths, and then you went back and painted their pictures?
So that's the thing that starts happening with the art is you see what it's there for, and it's to help people, and it just comes to you. It's like God makes it really easy to do big things for people when, sometimes it's hard. It just comes to you, and you're like, you got to say yes. You got to say yes to the experience. And I had a studio in downtown LA, and it was through a safe place for youth. Mm-hmm. We went to different spaces where homeless youth were there, and I did it a lot with Art of Elysium. I did a lot with a lot of different foundations, and you would paint each other's portrait and trade it with each other. So this time around, I did it, and I kept the portraits, and I integrated their portraits of me and my portraits of them on a wall. It was at the Santa Monica Museum of Art. So it became like an installation that was, a shout out to awareness of, activities that bring awareness to homeless youth, and giving kids a place to go after, whatever situation they're in. And but I just worked with, you brought this up, it's just 2 nights ago, was a thrill, and it was also felt really good. Arnold Schwarzenegger has a charity called After School All Stars, and to keep kids, directed towards a vision, for a dream, to give them after school programs of music and art, give them some place to go instead of wandering around streets and doing things. Just be like, yo, let's get those groups together. Yeah. And I donated a painting to them, and they raised $8 million in that night.
Amazing.
And whatever I'm working on is what I'm working on. Mm-hmm. So those things that you're making, whether you like it or not, there's going to be like, my friend Los calls it the spillover. It's going to spill over into the next.
Yeah.
It's going to come in there. Like if you're playing some songs about, I don't know, like ice cream cones. Well, I don't know why, but you might be making.
I am now.
You might be making
that's a song I'm writing tonight.
Yeah. Yes. My guy, I want to hear it. I want to paint with it on.
That's it.
But it's some of that's going to spill into what it is, and it's going to make that stuff that you're commissioned to do, because I like that. I found some of the icons that I never thought I would find from some of the commissions where I'm like, okay, I know that there's going to be a new thing, that's a new icon that's going to be in this thing. Yeah, like my last show last year, there was like 7 or 8 new things. I do like these symbols. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about icons. And like the burger and the crayons and the fries, each one has a different diary entry or has significance and meaning. So those things are going to bleed into it. But I love that you're making things for you, because that's the sign that you are an artist. And I as I get, closer and closer to what I'm supposed to be making, I feel like those are the pieces where I just don't care. That's why I did gasoline and new ice cream. I was like, what's going on in my head right now? Like my dad, energy, and like this ice cream is just, I've done some pieces of it, but let's go even deeper. Like let's make these things even more important. But I feel like I want it to be real, and I think that what I'm feeling, and my girl, that she helps me. Like life helps me. When you're in love, that helps you. Those things that she does, like I'm the burger, she's the fries, like that type of thing.
Yes. And
she has a tattoo of the fries on
right.
her. And
do you have the burger?
And I don't have the burger. I am the burger. And that's because when I went to Mr. Chow's as a little kid, and my mom showed me in the window, there was a drawing of a hamburger.
Right.
And I was like, is that on the menu? This is a Chinese restaurant. And she's like, no, that's Andy Warhol, he's a famous artist. So I was like, oh, so famous artists paint burgers. So the burger became this kind of like symbol of fine art. So now we're entering into a fine world with these burgers. So that's why they pop up in the thing. But it's funny you said that, and at the Arnold Schwarzenegger at his benefit was saying that you have to have a vision or you're just going to be all over the place.
Yeah.
And it reminded me to wake up again. Like, where are we going? Like, is it the big art show? Like, what am I doing here now? It's like,
well, men need that, no matter what your age you're at. And if you have somebody to help guide you or show that to you or help you discover that on your own, that's important. But you have to have an idea of the path that you want to go down. And there's no pressure to like, I don't know yet what I want to do. Okay, then just start going. Start going and keep your eyes open, but find that thing. Otherwise, you can get lost. You can't just, which is unattractive. It's like, how are you going to be a good partner?
Yes,
how are you going to be a good friend if you can't have a foundation around you? Because that's what people are attracted to. Knowing what you've told me about your mom and your dad and how you got a lot of support, but have you ever struggled with self-love?
When you set out to do something and it doesn't work that way in the beginning, it really hurts, because whether you're 13 and the girl that you like doesn't like you and you're like, what did I do? And it's nothing. You didn't do nothing. It's just what is. When you have to learn that. Yeah. Self-love is a, without that, I wouldn't be so dazzled by color and what it feels like to push that onto something and make something. You learn to love yourself more when you find what you love to do. And when you find what you love to do, that'll never let you down.
I think doing what you love that is such a privilege. And I think it takes a certain kind of brain to be able to go there and take those risks. Man,
speaking of taking risks. Yeah, it's exactly
balls,
right.
Man. I mean, it's like,
you're right.
We have a lot in common. We're talking about like, no, it's easy for us. We've done well. You know what I mean?
We got to be grateful for that. And that it is a privilege. Sometimes, some days it doesn't feel like it because it's not hitting or whatever. And then you got to go, okay.
Well, I want that's a great ramp to what I want to say. Gregory Siff, do you find it hard to ask for help when you need help?
Yes.
That's a New York thing, and that's an East Coast thing.
I mean, I look around it's hard for me to die. I'm like one of those, and I've learned some lessons from that too. It's like I'm the kind of guy that's like, I got all the bags, I'm bringing them all in myself, and it's tough. Even if my girl wants to grab help, I'm like, I got it, and it's like, what are you doing? I have two arms too, and it's hard to do that because. I don't know. I don't know what that quality is. I was talking about it
Would you say
too.
Maybe that's a little bit connected to, and I think a lot of men have this. I know I do. Some other guests on here have it. Control.
Maybe you don't trust it. You're maybe going to drop it. Or
Things are going well when we know that we can constrict them to a certain degree. But what happens if we just relinquish that? Because
that is so hard.
Yeah,
that's one of the hardest things I think for men.
Is that ego
surrender.
too? Like that,
sure.
that we don't like, and machismo and all those
insecurity,
things,
and it's like all wrapped in to this thing. And what does that do? It's like a recipe for.
My big dick energy is amazing. No, it's not. Put it down.
Who do you go to first when things in your life suck or fall apart or something? You're in
I could say without hesitation, my mom. Feminine energy is around me. I am surrounded by strong women. Yeah. My girl, my manager, my mother. I've noticed that pattern around me. It's like, wow, these are.
So that's interesting. We haven't talked a lot about your relationship with.
I cut my Achilles in a very angry fight once.
Really?
And I was like,
a fight with an ex-girlfriend?
What are you talking about? No, we're not going anywhere near that. But we're going. I cut my Achilles. You take care of this guy for me. So,
hey,
I cut my Achilles.
Take care of this guy.
And I want to. Yeah.
Hey.
Who's on next? Right? But I wanted to look at mythology, and I want to go back to what it is. I'll make it real quick. But I sliced my Achilles. I was like, why did this happen to me? So I started reading about the Greek mythology and about Achilles and about his mother. And his mother was a goddess, and his father was a mortal man. And they came together, and then she made him impervious by dipping him into the river, but she held him. She held Achilles by his Achilles heel, and that's the one part that didn't get dipped. And when that happened to me, I was trying to figure that out, and I was like, wow, my mom is the goddess, and my dad is the my dad is tough as nails and everything, but he was the man. And then I'm just trying to relate like past stories into why this happened to me, and thank God I got healed and it came through and everything like that. But I noticed that the women that are around me, they are impervious. So when something happens, and I also realize I want to make the best of all the time in the moments that I have.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't? And my mom's my best friend, and I can go to her. My girl's my best friend, my manager. I have strong women around me. And there's a really cool painting by Ed Ruscha. It used to be in the Ivy in Santa Monica. It might still be there, and there haven't been there. But it says, "Strong men run in my family," and it's a ship on water. And I see that, but I also see that for the women, they run in my family, and
they're so important to also creating a good man and help sculpt what a good man is, right?
Yes.
But to have, it's not, we need things from both, but like.
Yeah, women are just as vital as protectors as men.
Oh,
that ideology of
100%.
like men are the protectors, 100%. Men are the protectors.
Dude, my mom's harder than me. My mom can do my mom's touch. I've learned a lot about it. Like those moments that they had in their life. Like you've got to have tough. You got to bring out the tough, man. You can't let everything go by when something is not right. You got to speak about it. You got to grab that and take that on. And I've sometimes we learn the same lesson a lot until we get it.
Mm-hmm.
Life does that. We talked about that before.
Yeah.
Where, and I've fucking have been guilty of this. I've messed up in relationships where I just kept doing the same thing. If I was lying or if I was withholding, failing to communicate, not really listening to my partner when she needed me to listen. I was like, all right, I thought I was listening, but like, you're not listening. And then you'll learn it again. And then if you're willing to do the work and go through the muck and eat some crow, I'm like, okay, I learned all that shit now. Now I can paint the painting, and I can write the song, and I can finish the script, and I can, whether I'm changing the diaper or I'm apologizing to my kids at graduation before they go off into the world on their, to create their own legacy. It's
dope.
I think it'd be good for us to all answer this maybe as quickly as possible, and we can kind of go into it a little bit. But if there's an emotion I struggle to express, it would probably be empathy, and that's one that I need to continue to work on. Is there an emotion you?
I would say, but we can work on this.
Yeah, we can go. We're going somewhere with this.
I would say, be honest with who you are in the mirror, and be honest with who you are on the canvas. Be honest with who you are, who your friends. You don't have to walk in the muscles of a costume you don't have to prove. So you have to let that drop, the ideas that you have. So to be more honest, because that's what's going to be the painting they remember.
What was the question about the emotion that
one emotion you struggle to express?
Patience. Struggle to exercise it.
Yeah.
Well, what is patience?
Patience.
What is that quote? Patience is a virtue.
Yeah.
Why does everyone say that?
Because none of us have it.
In one ear and out the other.
You never get it. I know. There's a lot of those.
Patience. Patience is something I've worked on.
Are men better or worse with patience than women, do you think, on the whole?
I mean, I don't know what if we did statistics and data on it, but I would probably go with women.
On the whole, I think I would agree.
Yes.
My friend, who's a mentor and a friend and a terrific writer, and he said this to me years ago. He didn't say it to me. He said it in front of me, and I remember being like, "That's fucking great. I'm going to borrow that. I'm going to use that. So I'm going to use it right now." Shout out to my friend Todd Komernicki. He said, the only reason there's a planet left to defend is because of women.
Oh, I love that. Gregory, do you think women get more offended easily or men?
Ooh, That's a good one.
I just came up with that.
Women.
That's
get
not even
more
on the list. I
offended
just
easily.
I'm a fucking genius.
We've got 111 questions, and you just came up with one. What was the question?
Do you think women get more offended?
Who gets offended more easily?
I think men, because of pride and ego.
Yes.
Yes. That's a good call.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
yeah,
women, take it easy on the men out there. We can't handle that much.
Yeah.
No. You're in a healthy, happy relationship, my friend, and I'm so stoked for you. You have an amazing partner. But when you were single, what's something that would make you lose interest in a woman fast?
When someone doesn't like how you are with other people that have been in your world way longer than them, and they start to try and control and try to like give that any kind of hint of that, where you start to see like, hey, those action figures need to come down over there, or you talk too much on the phone with this person, or when those things to start to like pick up, you got to go like, I'm not answering the door anymore.
You know what?
Yeah.
That's and maybe the takeaway is like the willingness. We get along and we make each other laugh, but like
Don't lie to me.
There's
Don't
got to
try
be
change
a real
me.
willingness to understand everything about this person that you're going to potentially share your life with.
Yeah.
And then accept what you'll accept, and then fucking boundary up and not accept what you won't accept.
As far as arguments go with your partner, do you argue to win or argue to understand?
I mean, I've gotten very good with who I am from the arguments I've had in the past. You know, if there's anything that comes up, it's like, let's not argue about it. It's like,
you're able to diffuse pretty quickly.
I've been through a bunch of things in the past, and we've had some arguments. It's human.
Of course.
It's right. Yeah.
Of course.
But I've been very good at not wanting to win, just wanting everything, because I know there is no win.
Right.
It's all a loss.
Yes.
All a loss.
Yeah.
Just communicate and say what it is, and that, you know.
And how do you do? Do you have any like mechanisms or anything in the toolbox per se that you like to bring up to help you get, because my whole thing is like, how do I get to the fucking end of this? How do I just want to be at the end where we're hugging and it's all good,
Yes. From my thing like that is, number one, no alcohol in your system, because that'll just bring you to a place where, it's not. I drink. I'm not a big drinker, but I wouldn't have any conversations like that, because things are gonna be clear, and just breathe is a good thing. Take a moment before you speak. Like
that's good.
Take a moment before you.
That's good.
Don't react, respond.
Yes. I'm like, take stock in the whole thing that is there, and just listen and be present to what it is, and really be clear about what you say. Like, make it like you only have you're only allowed to say 11 words. So before you speak, because, just how you're going to express it, just take a moment and, just go, if something's bugging you, just bring it up like that. But it's not, don't fight it, because it's not going to work for me.
Yeah.
I'm happy I'm not in those situations anymore.
Yeah, good for you. Do what's working for you, because it's working. You said something interesting about men, about you in particular, but men, like just wanting to be over with, like wanting the argument. They're like, can we talk? Let's talk. I don't want to talk. Like, can it just be over and done with? I would assume women want the same thing.
Yes.
Like, nobody loves to. No, let's dwell in this shit. Let's strike a tent. I'll get the fire. We'll dwell all night in the we'll kumbaya through the nonsense until our kids kill us.
Yeah.
I wonder though if women feel the same way. They must, about like, I just want this argument to end. Let's solve it, and let's move through it.
Sometimes I think like they just love being there.
It's tough. You can't give them that kindling, because then you're giving an area where you're spending more time. Oh, now we're more time. There's more time.
More time focusing on the problem.
Yeah.
Right.
And just stop it there. Be like, yo, let's go get a burger. Let's go. Like, you gotta go do something.
Burger and fries.
Yeah. Go take a walk. Go get a burger and fries. I wish that's something clear, is like, change the space that you're in, because you're here in one spot. Let's go for a walk. Or let's move locations.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a really good thing.
I used to do that with my kids when they were really, really little, and they were going or night terrors. Did you ever have night terrors? Did Charlie have
Man,
night terrors?
I had all the time terrors.
You're like, I still have night terrors.
Daytime.
But you know,
Daytime,
they're
nighttime.
awake, but they're still dreaming. And so you've got this kid, and I was like, we're like, what do we do? What do we do? They won't settle down. They won't settle down. Change the location.
Yeah,
That's a
Yeah.
good
it's really
one.
good.
Dude.
Haven't talked about that
And
yet.
then
That's
even for
great
you too, because it could be a phone call and you're
Yeah.
about to say something like, "Get out of the car, we're going over here." Or
Yes.
go to
Change the
go to Virgin
location.
Megastore. And listen to
Sometimes
some
just
music.
that small little thing. It's these little things, right? Great tool for the toolbox, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. When we get near the end, we remember earlier we asked about like a question that you would leave for another guest, but I want to ask you in the confines of communicating, and you are an excellent communicator, at least in my experience.
And one thing we did before is where you said art is the greatest connect.
Art is the great connector.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
put that in the we did when I was doing my Adidas stuff. You put that in there.
You're always
Or
doing
the
stuff. I
Coca-Cola.
mean, Gregory's collaborated with like Adidas and Coca-Cola,
Ugh.
Snoop Dogg, and
Art is
Saint
the
Laurent and
dream.
Gucci and the dream. And
yeah.
but you know why? The dream. It's because I do believe in this. What you put out in the world will come back, and the good and the bad. And you don't know when, you don't know how. And people call it karma, and people call it something else. But you know, I'd rather stack the odds and like put the good out.
Just if you're always doing good and not looking for anything back, it's gonna hit you like in so many ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough, man. You don't want to. You want to be a guy, and you want to like you. If someone needed to borrow something, you do something. Be as good as you can be, and don't expect it back. Just call it what it is. You know when they say you don't lend money, you got to give it to them. Just go.
Do you have $100?
You need it.
Yeah.
I like those Jordans.
By the way, I took a
The
picture of
good
you and your
trade.
brother, and my friend didn't comment anything about what your brother was wearing. He said, I love Evan's Jordans.
Yeah,
There we
the
go.
Chocolate on the back there. I
Yeah,
like
they
it.
get the little
I like what
chocolates.
you got going. No, but what were you gonna ask?
I was going to ask. I want to
But of
get
course
just a
you could have
couple
100 if
couple
you need it.
nuggets from you, some sage wisdom for guys out there who may feel like, you know, a term we use like rudderless. They're absorbing the wrong things in their life right now, and they're putting their energy in the wrong things, and it's probably preventing them from becoming happy, finding that woman. Women are like, I'm sick of dating boys. I can't find anybody. So for these guys, it's a couple of things you'd say, like, so that they
Yeah.
can kind of get on that path.
When you wake up, don't look about what you don't have. You got to look at what everything that you do have, because you don't even know that you're walking on 100 blessings a second. You're walking on. You're in your home. You got to treasure who you are. You got to romanticize the dream that you're living right now. I mean, some of our music and some of our paintings and movies might not be seen till we're gone. You know, like even the greats like Vincent and all of these things. It's not going to be instant gratification like it is when you see something on an Instagram. And so I would say, like, count if you get up in the morning and that you say thank you for just not being in a hospital. Thank you for, you know, that these taste buds, you know, thank God for all of the things that you forget that you have already. Then you're going to find every other little thing that does come your way, whether you get that glance from that girl on you know, on your walk, or something works out right, it's going to be even better. So, I mean, things aren't working out sometimes because there's more lessons to learn and there's more things for you to discover about yourself. I mean, it's never going to be 100% right. Like it's not ever going to be right. It's not going to be exactly how you see it, but it's going to be yours. It's going to be your story. So it
That's
really
something
is.
to look forward
You're
to.
a national treasure.
Oh man.
I love
thanks.
that was like one of the best answers to that question.
Dude, that sun
Honestly.
hits your eyes. It's sometimes it sucks. Sometimes you wake up and you're in the bed and you're like, you hit the scroll. That phone is. I don't know about you, but this phone has become such another character. And the more it becomes a character, sometimes you feel like it's helping you. I'm getting the word out about my art, and you put it away.
Amen. I
it
want to
away
put the
for a
phone
minute.
away,
Like,
except to listen to this podcast and check out Gregory's paintings and listen to Tony's music. Otherwise, just put the phone down.
Just balance it out, like with what it is, because it's a good object to have.
Mm-hmm.
But if like more than half, and they're even core, you know, I don't know, and get moving.
Hey man, water. Telling my kids about water. We need water to survive, but it can kill us so easily. Right?
Yeah, well, that's a really cool way to put it. You could drown in it. There's a great quote with Customato.
Customato, who was Mike Tyson's
trainer and father, raised him and everything, was like, there's a fire. And like, if you got to learn how to, you can fan a fire, you can cook food with it. But if you let that, you can do things with fire. It's energy, it's power. But if you do it wrong, it'll burn everything down. And like Mike needed that kind of guidance. We all need it. We all need these reminders because we're all that little kid in there. Just, you know, we don't ever want to lose that person.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you're like, got this. And shout out to both of you guys being fathers. Like I said a quote, and I don't know if it's going to be in my version of what it is, but when I lost my dad physically, still around, I said, if I'm ever going to truly know my father, I'm going to have to become one. And you both have a perspective on the world that I cannot see because I don't know that feeling. The closest I know to it is the ones that I love and the creations that I make. But you have creations that are living, breathing in this world. And that is the ultimate, that is the ultimate legacy and the ultimate, you know, gifts that you can give. So this podcast is going to be something where there's volumes where you go, remember when Dad was talking about that or whatever? This is cool.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Thank you so much.
Well, you can borrow Charlie anytime. She loves you.
Yeah, she's the best.
We got to wrap it up, but one question, any question it could be for a guest down the road.
Okay, one question that you're going to ask the next person.
Well, maybe not the next person. We don't know when we'll ask.
Come up with it.
Yeah.
What have you done today?
For your art?
No. Yeah. Well, okay. What have you done today for your heart?
Oh, I love that.
Great.
I love that. I was like, don't answer. I'm like, I think I know what he's going to say.
Yo, you got it.
That's funny.
Dude, can we be friends after this?
Yes.
Can I like?
No. There's no room. He's my friend.
Can
Yeah, I
you
guess
share?
we can do
we
a.
gotta put your number in.
Awesome,
We can do a
man.
friend
It's
loan
like,
out program.
I
Hold
love
on. We're
this.
still going. We can do a friend loan out program. Gregory Siff,
Yes.
you are a gem, man. You're a diamond, and we appreciate you coming,
Yeah,
and
thank you
taking
so
the time
much.
and sharing with us. And you can definitely have your generous balls back.
No, they've been here. We gotta keep the Chinese theater where you put the handprints in, the ball prints are going in. They're never leaving.
Nice.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
And you wore the socks.
I did. I wore the
Gregory
Gregory Siff
socks.
socks.
Should we get burger and fries? Burgers and fries?
Thanks so much to our guests and our listeners for today's show, which was recorded at Mary Pickford Film Studios. This episode was produced by J.K. Da Silva, Ignacio Gonzalez sound engineered, and Spencer Rollins shot it. Dean Gonzalez edited and co-produced it. Special thanks, shout out to Joachim Horsley, Brandon Morgan, and Jason Brahms. Original music all done by Antonio Bellavo. That's Tony's fancy name. Make sure to follow and subscribe to Balls on the Table on your favorite podcast platform. And drop us a line at ballsonthetable.com. We'll be back soon to talk about all the things men need and what Tony and I want to talk about.